Out by the barn where the stories grow, under the sun where the warm winds blow. A sanctuary where the hearts unite. Come join the love in the golden light. Love lives here where the open skies sing. Every soul finds a place to cling. Join us today, feel the warmth inside, in the Barnside chat where the love won't hide. Whispers of care in the gentle breeze, laughter that dances among the trees. Every life matters, every heart's a flame. Together we gather, no one's the same. Love lives here where the open skies sing. Every soul finds a place to cling. Join us today, feel the warmth inside, in the Barnside chat where the love won't hide. Skies sing, every soul finds a place to cling. Join us today, feel the warmth inside, in the Barnside chat where the love won't hide.
Hello, welcome friends. It's good to see you today. How are you doing? We had a week off last week, so we've got a lot of catching up to do. Hello, Gail, it's great to see you. There's the comments coming in. Hello, Brooke. Hello, Mary. So good to see everyone. Happy Monday. Yeah, there are moments here at the sanctuary where everything just stops and your walkie-talkie goes off and you hear the message, and before you even respond to it, you already know that something's wrong. Yeah, it's really good to see you here today. We've had one of those weeks, the kind where, you know, plans change in an instant and where you move from calm to emergency in a matter of seconds. And I'm reminded very clearly just how fragile some of these lives can be. But also the kind of week that also shows you exactly why this place exists at all. And we're going to talk about Eleanor today, her emergency trip to Ontario Veterinary College after a pretty serious injury. And we're also going to introduce you to somebody new, a little life that we knew we had to say yes to, and what that all looks like and means in real time. We're going to give you some updates on our seniors, a bit of uncertainty that we're navigating with Sammy, and we'll share what happened this weekend when a group of incredible humans showed up and helped us clean up literal tons of poop to get these pastures ready again. It's most certainly not always glamorous, but it's always as real as it can be. And we'll walk through this week together, resident updates, what's happening around the farm, and of course, we'll get into your questions from the magic rainbow bag. So let's start with the resident updates, because that's where this program always takes us. It includes some enrichment moments, and we'll talk about facilities. And if you have any questions for us today, put them in the comment feed below for that magic rainbow bag section. Okay, we sent out a note this week that we had an emergency, and our dear girl Eleanor ended up in emergency surgery. She got a gash just underneath her neck, and it was something that was too too large for us to deal with on farm. And we can only hypothesize what happened or come to a conclusion that we don't even know if it's the conclusion, but we checked her yard out to make sure that there was nothing sharp in her yard, and we have to conclude that another pig on the other side of the fence grabbed her, and that's what caused the tear in her neck. And it was a pretty serious tear. And we took her right away to Ontario Veterinary College. And this program is all about learning, and we want to show you the wound. So if you are squeamish about seeing wounds, you should probably look away. Eleanor's not in distress. You can see that she's very calm in this video, and caretaker Nicole is taking a video, and we're showing this to our vet in real time. And so here's the video. I'll let you know when we're all done it. It's just a short clip, but you have to see the seriousness of it, and you have to understand why we moved so fast and why we had to do what we did. So here it comes. Close your eyes. You can listen to the audio. Here it is. Underneath her chin there, you can see this big gash, and it is definitely open up into the cavity of just almost pierced into her mouth. And gratefully she didn't break that wall into her mouth. The video is all done. We're back to a screen here. So you could see there just how serious it is. It's not just a Band-Aid, and we hope for the best. She had to go, we took her by transport trailer right away and got her checked in, and they agreed that, yeah, she needed to have surgery right away. So they sedated her and then fully anesthetized her, and then they were able to stitch the muscle. There's 3 layers that that wound was part of. And when they got it all stitched up, okay, if you're squeamish about things, close your eyes. Here's the wound. It's all closed up and better again. So here it comes. If you're squeamish, I'm giving you a warning. Just close your eyes. I'll let you know when it's off the screen. So there's the wound, all closed up again. There's about 16 stitches that I can count here on this layer, and then there's 2 other layers. So the wound was the same size all the way through, so I have to assume it's 16 times 3 in the amount of stitches that she got. So that's a lot of stitches. Okay, it's off the screen now. That was hard to look at, but I wanted just to make sure that you understand, you know, everything that's going on here. And it's very real, some of these moments. So she's back home now. We were able to get her in very quickly. Within 15 minutes, we were able to get admission for her, and then it took about 25 minutes to drive there. Loading her, she wasn't so keen about going on the resident transport trailer, and but we had to convince her. We used pig boards and we used snacks to get her on. And then coming home, she was great. She jumped right on the trailer. She was ready to come home. She didn't need much. Convincing to get on the trailer, which was great. So here's a picture of her looking up in the air, and you can see the bandage that's on the bottom of her chin there, and we have to change that bandage as often as it gets dirty. You can see here that it is dirty, and that's from her eating. So when she's eating in her bowl, it's getting slop on her chin. So we're changing the bandage regularly, and she's being quite sucky. You know, she understands that something big happened. And she understands that, you know, we were helping her and the severity of the situation. But, you know, it's traumatizing for a little girl like her. Any of the residents that go and get handled by strangers at the hospital, they definitely, you know, they know that we're there to help and to make them feel better. But we just, you know, I always feel really bad for them when we have to leave them at the hospital. But there's rules that they have there that we have to abide by, and that's you know, that's for everybody's safety. But she's home now. She was home, I think it was 2.5 days after surgery that she got released back home. She was having antibiotics being administered through an ear catheter, and they were happy to have that vein still open. So we opted to let her stay at the hospital for another night to get those meds administered by catheter directly into her system. So she's on antibiotics here, oral antibiotics here at the farm, and daily cleanings of that as often as needed. And she's going to be in one of the solo stalls here in the stall barn for probably 2 weeks. That was a nasty muscle injury, and yeah, we definitely don't want any re-injury there, or her to overextend or be laying in the dirt or in the mud. And so she doesn't have access to the Wonder Arena right now. She's back in the stall barn in isolation where we can keep a closer eye on her. But thank you so much to all of the veterinarian team at the Ontario Veterinary College that got to help Eleanor and nursed her back to health. And we're certainly grateful for all of them there at the college. And here's Miss Eleanor waltzing down the barn. There's caretaker Nicole ushering her back. She did so good. She's so strong. And yeah, we're all glad that she's going to be okay. Yes, and painkillers. Yes, I'm sure she's got painkillers. Definitely got painkillers on board. So that's the story of what happened this week with Eleanor. And we're, I'm so grateful for anybody that was able to donate to her care. The costs go up very quickly at the hospital, as you might imagine. If you've ever been caretaker for a pet or another animal, you know how cost prohibitive things are. And we just want to say thank you to everybody. There was no donation that was too small. It all helped us pay the bill, and we're really super grateful for that. Which leads me into something new that we have. We launched something called the Yes Report, and that's specifically a monthly donor update. And the Yes Report is exactly that. It's telling you everything that your support made possible this month. And because of you, we got to say yes to a lot this month, and we covered all of that in the Yes Report. And the monthly donors, of course, you get the Yes Report, so that's monthly insider information. You get exclusive invites to VIP in-person events here on the farm. There's tickets to our annual virtual pumpkin smash that you get, and then you also get 10% off at the Heath's store all year long. And the Yes Report went out this week. It went out yesterday, and we brought you all up to speed on a very new resident. We have a new resident to announce for everybody today. We've been keeping him low key in communications while we try to figure out everything that this special man needs. So I'm going to introduce you to him right now. And here he is at the back of the truck. It's a baby lamb. It's a baby lamb. Look at how small he is. We saw on Facebook one of our friends that runs the Cedar Row Farm Sanctuary had been contacted about this little guy. And if you can believe it, this little guy was disposed of like he was a piece of trash. And kind individuals that lived near this horrible place recognized that Lambert was not a piece of trash, and they were able to bring him indoors and isolate him and clean him up, and they cared for him until they could no longer care for a lamb inside. And we're just forever grateful for these humans that recognize when animals need help and they contact sanctuaries close to them. And we work together, sanctuary to sanctuary, to find this little guy home. And here is a video of him coming out of his crate. He is so adorable. His name is Lambert. Welcome, Lambert.
Oh my goodness.
And Lambert was disposed of where he was born because, as you can see, he has some malformities to his feet and he walks a bit different. And if you are raising lambs and sheep because you are looking to profit from them, a little lamb like this that has problems or needing more medical care, they're not worth raising to them. But because of you, we were able to say yes to Lambert, and he is now safe and loved and cared for. He was brought directly to the Ontario Veterinary College for a one-over from the team. He had some x-rays of his feet done to see what we can do to provide him with the support that he needs for the rest of his life. And you can see his front left is the most affected, and it's getting wrapped daily and with a splint put on it. And it's because his tendons are too tight and they're jacking his foot back and under, and it's rolling under. And it's causing him, it is causing him some difficulty with getting up. Like you might imagine, if you had a gimped foot, it would be more difficult to get up from laying down. So he's getting lots of one-on-one personal attention from all the caretakers. And they check on him first thing in the morning to make sure that if he wants to get up, he can. He's able to get up on his own a lot of the time, but still, a lot of the time he is needing help and assistance getting up. But you can see he's full of life running around here in between the isolation stalls. Any new resident starts out at the isolation stalls in a different barn, not connected. And that's to make sure that whomever is coming is not bringing any diseases that can be communicated across to our other residents. So he had all of his testing done, and then we got to bring him over to the stall barn. And he's winning everybody's hearts over. And his little Lambert, of course he needs a heater because he's a baby. He's about 5 or 6 months old from what we can tell. And we're giving him special diet to make sure that he's gaining weight. And here's caretaker Chris, who has a regular routine with Lambert. You can see Lambert's got that foot extended out there on the yoga mat and getting ready to be wrapped up and splinted up. Here's a picture of the splinting process. You can see that hard structure on the outside running along, and then using what we call vet tape or vet wrap. It's secured all the way down safely down his leg. And then the caretakers have been having fun by adding various designs to the splint. And they got him a really big stuffed animal, which you can see that he loves to snuggle in with. He's sleeping on it. Some of the most cutest pictures are flooding the phones right now. The volunteer that helps us with our social media had indicated that we were taking way too many photos of Lambert and not enough of everybody else. And I think that was the case because we had not shared Lambert with you, and Lambert's requiring so much one-on-one care, and everybody's just enamored with his handsome looks. And yeah, I've never had the opportunity to help raise a baby lamb. And here it is. Here's Lambert. And we called in our osteopath. And this is Nevina. And Nevina was able to provide some osteopathy for baby Lambert. And because you might imagine that walking funny with, walking differently is going to add different strains to your skeletal system. So she's helping Lambert. That was his very first osteopathy appointment. Here's Lambert sporting a beautiful sock there. You could see him laying across Trisha. And here's another one, a little watermelon. So you're going to be seeing lots of moments from baby Lambert, and he's got a whole life in front of him because we were able to say yes. Okay, here's somebody who thinks that they're being sneaky on the scale. Have you ever heard that if you take 1 foot off the scale, you weigh less? Yeah, well, I think that's what Ray is trying to do here, to prove that he can get extra snacks. About every 6 weeks, they get weighed just to make sure that there's no major increases or major decreases that might point to any health concerns going on. Okay, at the top of the show, you heard me mention that we were having some uncertain times right now with Sammy, and this just happened last night. things can change in the blink of an eye. So we have a vet appointment booked for Sammy at 2 o'clock. So that's in 40 minutes, where we'll be discussing Sammy and showing them some videos of what exactly is going on the ground here. Sammy is an elder pig. He's part of our seniors, and he has had this toe tapping, it's arthritis in his back legs, his hips, and he is toe tapped for a while, a long time. You know, we're talking about the past year and a half to 2 years, where he's just standing there and he has to shuffle in order to get comfortable. Well, now he is shuffling constantly, and even when he's laying down, he is shuffling. And last night, when I went in for checks into the barn, I saw, let's see, I got a video here. There it is. So you can see his back right leg there. I put a pad behind it because he was kicking the wall, and it was making this really loud thud noise. And that's why I put the pad there behind it, because I didn't want him kicking the wall anymore. And he just kept moving it and shuffling it and shuffling it and shuffling it. And the first giveaway to something was going wrong was that I saw Helen sleeping out on her own. She was sleeping out of the hut, and she was making a bed. And I thought, what in the heck is going on? Helen usually sleeps with Sammy. And it's, well, she's not sleeping next to Sammy because Sammy is shuffling around so much. So she opted to make a bed off to the side. So we took some videos, we examined the foot to make sure that there's, nothing in the foot that's causing pain. Sometimes they can get a puncture, but there's no obvious signs there. So, I moved the leg a bit and felt for any warmth, but there's nothing that's blatantly obvious. So, yeah, here you can see Helen outside the blue hut. I was like, what is going on? Why is Helen making a bed outside the hut? But she couldn't take all of the shuffling around, so she got out of bed and was making a bed over here. So that was my first indication that something was wrong. So we went and got food to get him up so we could see exactly what we're looking at. And you could see him turn. He's like, what is going on with that back leg? He knows something's up with it. He can definitely feel it. He's irritated about it. But we have to get him up so we can take some video to see exactly what. So he popped right up, thankfully. And his gait, so that's how far apart the legs are. His gait is really wide right now. His back legs, he's got stationed wide, and this is not normal for him. And you can see even just there with him standing, his irritation with his back leg. He's walking a bit funny. So I never like to see that. But I am suspecting that he overdid it, that he's out into pasture. The bogs are open, the pastures are open, and I suspect that he overdid it. And, osteoarthritis, if that's what this is, you can get little fractures, microfractures that just happen just because of the weight of your body, gravity. You don't even have to do anything. You don't have to twist it. You don't have to have anybody step on you. It can just happen because gravity is pulling you down. And with a big fellow like him, I'm really worried about it because, it means it's going to be life-changing for him. And we have had our eye on Sammy for quite a while and imagining him moving over to the senior side. But, nothing can prepare you for the day where you go, okay, we have to remove you from your herd. I hope that's not the case right now. We do have portable x-ray machine on the way to check it out. And I'll be talking with the vet again at 2 o'clock, so we'll keep you all updated on what's happening with Sammy. But fingers crossed, please. Oh, here's Nebina with Mercy. Mercy's getting her osteopathy appointment, which is awesome. We're still got a coat on Emma. She can wear a coat as long as she wants. She lost her fur very quickly. We suspect that it was due to lice infestation, so they both, her and Pouty, have been given lice medicine, and their fur is growing back in nicely, and it doesn't appear to be causing them any problems. But we do put a coat on Emma at night because sometimes, if you're in Ontario, Canada, it's a beautiful warm day today, but the nights are still getting cool enough to actually snow. And for our seniors, we'll do anything for them, including bring the outside in for them. Here's Jeannie Bean all covered up underneath her heater, and the dandelions are in bloom. And caretaker, Nicole, went and picked some dandelions, Jeannie's favorite. And that's what enrichment is sometimes, is just bringing the outdoors inside for the ones that don't want to go out that day, or maybe they can't. But in this case, that was just a treat. Jeannie is still able to get up and she does go outside, but this was a special treat that was just for Jeannie. And enrichment can sometimes look like being led into new spaces. And on this particular day, we decided to leave the north end of the barn open so that our senior goats and sheep can explore out into the yard. It was with a caretaker, of course, that was seeing them around and just letting them go and browse around. And here's all of them lined up against the tree row, browsing in the grass. There's all sorts of things that they love to eat, and twigs and branches. And sometimes enrichment looks like the Amazon wish list. And we got to install this new brush down at the hallway, down at the end of the hallway for the south goats. And there are brushes big and small that we like to install all over the place that allow the residents to scratch the itch that they just can't get to. And enrichment can sometimes look like meeting somebody new. And I was followed by this pack of wolves the other day. I brought Callie on a leash for a walk, and we crossed over into the south yard, and all of the goats, whom have seen Callie before, but on the other side of the fence, they were all very, very curious. So, that's just meeting different people can be enrichment, and getting to see different equipment in the different fields and letting the residents have a peek around. And this happened on our workday where we had the big farm truck in the field. And the farm truck we had to use in the field because we've got broken equipment right now. We'll talk about that in the facilities update if we even get there. I know I'm talking a lot about the new residents. But the quad, our all-terrain vehicle, is out of service right now. And so we are using the truck to motor around and get what we have to get done completed. So here's Ray, just checking out the truck. We had a beautiful, you should wait till you see some of the other photos that have come out with the residents around the truck and checking it out and scratching around it. But there is, there's never a dull moment here at the farm. And when we take a step back and we look at everything that happened this week, Eleanor, Lambert, our seniors, and Sammy, it all comes down to one thing, and a yes, and saying yes in the hard moments, a yes when it would be, easy to look away, a yes when you don't even have all the answers yet, and a yes that holds this place together. And yeah, we got to say yes a lot this week, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for letting us be able to say yes. Okay, that was a lot of resident updates, so I think we should, let's try to squeeze in some facilities updates. Oh, we still got Ray on the screen. All right, I'm going to slam through some facilities updates. We got the quad vehicles out of service. Here's PJ power washing it off so we can see everything, maybe including the problem, but we didn't get to the bottom of it. So it's all clean and it's being picked up, and they'll be taken to the shop and they'll look at it. It's overheating, and that could be a lot of problems. That could be a sensor, that could be the coolant system. We're not really sure, but they're going to take it and do. We haven't had it serviced in over 2 years, so it's done well for us. And if you're following closely along, you'll know that the tractor was just went for service and came back with a $6,000 repair on it. And the quad is probably going to be, at least $1,500 to get it transported off of the site, and then all of the fluids changed and the problem fixed. So it's expensive to operate the equipment. We also have the drainage project, which we're filming, where the water is all forming from overhead, and that drainage project starts next weekend. There'll be machines here digging it up a lot. And here's a machine that's digging it up a lot. Here's a volunteer, Val, who is digging out a stone that has been in the middle of the bog for the past, well, since we got here. And this stone, Val, has dug it out of the middle of the bog. And there she is. That's the thinking rock there. That stone won't bug anybody else in the bog anymore. Here's Ray coming to check out the truck. And Knoxley checking out the truck. It was an awesome work weekend where we got to clean this pasture up. And there's beautiful Jolene. I just love Jolene's face. Okay, one more facilities update, and here, well, actually there's two. I think there's two here on my screen. I broke the tractor, or the tractor broke on me. I'm not sure what happened, but I was using the tractor and I was grading the driveway, and then all of a sudden the steering just stopped working and I wasn't able to turn the wheels. Everything was working on the tractor except for the steering. So thankfully, my wheels were in the right direction that I could just slowly pull off to the side so that the tractor's not in the middle of the laneway. But the tractor is broke. The steering was not part of what was fixed before, so it's not like an old problem that we thought was fixed is fixed. This is a new problem, and yeah, the equipment is so expensive to keep going, and so right now we are without the tractor and without the all-terrain vehicle. So fingers crossed that we'll get that fixed very quickly. And we had a leak that sprung. If you listen closely, you can hear the water pouring out of the pipes in the old barn. And the caretakers recognized on the pavement through the cracks that there was these little rivers that were constantly flowing. And so they further investigated back into the barn and they discovered that the pipe had burst. So there's always something on farm. The facilities, you know, the amount of the resources that go into keeping everything dry and warm and cool, and it's nonstop. And the people that come out to help the sanctuary on a weekly basis, you know, they are helping us out with just as important work. Scratching bellies and keeping the pastures cleaned and making sure that everybody has dry beds. And it really is a never-ending endeavor here. And this mission has no end. And, you know, it's an honor to do this every single day and work for a kinder tomorrow, and to make a home for our residents here. But every single day there's something that goes on facilities wise. Something is breaking, something is running out, something is needed, a resident is not feeling themselves. It's exhausting to say the least. And there are moments like this where we get to sit back and see nature all around us. Last week you heard a video that Kevin captured, the coyotes singing. They sing here every single night. They're howling. And this was, while I was grading the driveway, just before the tractor broke, I got to see this coyote run out from in between one of the fields. And he was a bigger coyote. I've not seen a big coyote like this here. And he looked to be in good shape and he looked to be healthy. But how beautiful is it we're surrounded by nature. The sun is going to be setting a lot later. It goes 3 or 4 minutes every single day, so it's now setting around 8:26. It is still cold enough to snow, going down to 1 on Thursday. And this is a video from yesterday. Looks green, looks nice, but if you squint just a little bit, you can see that it is indeed snowing. And here's BJ and Escalade that have come running for their treats. But yeah, it was cold enough yesterday to snow. It was a little bit of everything yesterday. We are running a little bit late on today's program, but we're gonna motor forward into the Magic Rainbow Bag. We're gonna answer your questions. We're gonna catch up from last week. And here are the 2 questions for the Magic Rainbow Bag. Question number 1. Is he ready for shearing, or do you wait until warmer weather? I'm sure you are referring to Abraham. Yeah, we're going to be waiting for warmer weather for sure. We'll be monitoring it every single day. And yeah, we have done it before. We've done it too soon, and then we see shivering residents. So with the way that the weather is going up and down, it's always best to wait. You know, here, people tend to not plant their flowers until May 2-4 long weekend. And I think that that's probably a good date to have in mind for don't shear your sheep before May 2-4 long weekend, because there still could be the threat of frost. Next question, also referring to Abraham's wool. Somebody asks, this is Christine who asks, could you sell the wool and make some money for the animals, or is that exploitive? Yes, great question. So you did answer where we land with that, and we do consider it to be exploitive because that wool is not ours to take. And so by helping them, when we shear them, we take the wool and we put it in the compost pile, or we just let them use it as bedding, and it's not uncommon to see birds making their nests out of it. So we just give it right back to nature and let it compost. Thanks for your questions. That's if you asked a question in today's show, I'm going to just scroll back. I know there are questions, but we are running late, so I will save those questions for next week. Thank you to anybody that did submit your questions. If you'd like to submit a question and have not done so yet, you can private message us, or you can just put it in the comment feed below. Okay, did we do it? We ran late, we made it all the way to the end, and at the end I always do some sort of a reflection, and I got to keep coming back to this idea, the yes. And it shows up everywhere here. It shows up in moments of panic, when Eleanor needs help and we have to move on it. It shows up in a life like Lambert, who by all accounts he wasn't meant to make it, and somehow he's here. It shows up in our seniors and the quiet, consistent care that they get, and in the decision to keep them comfortable, safe, and known. And it even shows up in something as simple as a group of people standing out in a field helping us clean up. And none of that happens by accident. And so, however you're connected to this place, whether you're watching, supporting, volunteering, or just learning about these lives for the first time, thank you for being here. And thank you for believing in a world Esther helped show us, where kindness reaches farmed animals too. Thanks everybody, bye-bye.
Love lives here where the open skies sing. Every soul finds a place to cling. Join us today, feel the warmth inside in the Barnside chat, where the love won't hide.